Hey Flosstube, it's Kim, aka Spartan Stitcher on Instagram, and I am here on New Year's Day 2025 to bring you my end of 2024 WIP parade. It has been quite the year, so let's go through all the pieces that I either got good progress on, started, or finished here in 2024. A little bit about myself: 43-year-old Air Force veteran, divorced mom of 2 girls that I have custody of. So I'm also the admin of Full Coverage Fanatics, so you will see a lot of full coverage, but I do have some non-full coverage in here as well. So for my regular viewers, just some December stats before I get into all the pieces. For full coverage tent stitches for December, I did 21,452 stitches. For non-full coverage, full cross, I did only 958. So that was only on one piece. So it was December's almost completely full coverage. So we will go through all of my, I can't even just say WIPs because there's finishes in here too. Everything is chronological. Just works better for me that way. So I did get 6 finishes in 2024. So you will see those interspersed as we go through chronologically. If you hear noise, it's the 2 cats, 7-month-old cats, almost 8 months. They are currently going spastic in the house. So they might be pawing at the door, or you might hear them running up and down the hallway. So that is, the cat noise. So we are going to start out with the finish. My oldest WIP, I don't even have a picture because I haven't finished. Friends Forever by Ann Stokes. It's a retired Haid. It was my focus on a finish for the year. I started the year at 82.32%. I started this piece originally. It was my New Year, New Start 2017. So, and I finished it the 10th of December last month. So I did 42,433 tent stitches here in 2024. That was 5 full pages and 3 partial pages for 2024. So it was that bottom left-hand corner is what I was working on. If you see me, I was doing it extreme cross country to finish out all those colors in that section because I fit it all in an 11 by 11 Q-snap. So I forgot, I did like 3,300 tent stitches in December to finish it out. And literally the last 5 days was a page finish every day. I didn't stick to my extreme because you wouldn't have seen it anyways. I didn't stick to my doing 1 color at a time because I wanted to get 1 page finish every day. And that last day was a page and a partial. So I have washed and ironed this. This is 25 count Lugana. This was not easy count. This is just plain Lugana. I still have the hangers attached just to make it easier when I'm done. So I won't be able to fit the whole thing in one shot, I don't believe. But there you go. So let me show you the bottom section up close because that's what I was working on this year. So it was this bottom corner that I did the 5 full and 3 partial pages along the bottom. So there you go. That is that section all complete. So bottom of the piece again. This whole piece, I believe was the dimensions are 400 by 600, so it's 240,000 stitches. So there you go. She looks amazing. As I said, I've already washed and ironed her. Just waiting on finishing. So that was my big finish for the year. Next oldest WIP. This is Kindred Spirits by Jody Bergsma. So I started this one on May 1st, 2017. 2017 was a year of full coverage for me. I started 10 full coverage pieces in 2017. And now that Friends Forever is done, I only have 2 remaining. And that is Kindred Spirits and the next one, which is my focus on a finish for 2025. So this one has kind of been like the one to get the least amount of attention throughout the, 8 years. But now that Friends Forever is done, I looked back at my records and I did at least 5 full pages plus some partials every year for the last 4 years. And so looking at the numbers on what's left on Kindred Spirits, running those numbers, if I do a little over, or actually almost 43,000 stitches each year for the next 4 years, it can be my 2028 finish. So I know the colors are limited, but so was Friends Forever. So we're going to try it this in 2025, see how I do. Again, 25 count. This is easy count, and I was doing the pages diagonally. I cannot promise that that will be what I do this year. So if you watch me this past year in 2024, what I was doing is I would do daily stitches on 2 different pieces split up during the month. So the first 2 weeks of the year would be daily stitches on Friends Forever. So I'd work on it a little chunk each month with getting 3,510 stitches done each month to equal that 42. And then the second half of the month, I'd do daily stitches into my non-full coverage finish of the year, which you'll see in here in a little bit. So that worked well for me. I didn't get burnt out on either piece. So I'm going to be doing that again this year. So one of the focus pieces will be Kindred Spirits. So since it is a harder piece for me to really get into, just by loving the design, I will be working 2 weeks each month to get that total almost 43,010 stitches into it. So there you go. That's where it's at. So again, I started this 1st of May 2017. I started 2024 at 25.73%. I did 3 pages on it this year. So my goal was only 2, but if you're watching me, I did not touch this piece at all in 2023. I had a 2-page goal for the year, and I didn't even put a single day into it. So I finished the 2 pages goal for 2024, and I managed to get an extra page, a 3rd page, to try to make up a little bit for not touching it all in 2023. So I put a total of 22,158 10 stitches into it in 2024 for currently at 33.93%. So getting just shy of 43,000 stitches will be just about 6 pages. Because it's on a scroll frame like this, I might just, start filling in these pages just so I don't have to move the scroll frame as much. We'll see. If I get sick of the colors, I might, keep going down my diagonal pages. If I get sick of the Frisian, I might come down to the Andalusian. So we should see about 6 pages done here in 2025. So this will be my 2028 finish. All right, now my focus on the finish for this year, 2025, Sunday Delight by Randall Spangler. I started this piece on 7 December 2017. So like I said, it was one of those 10 pieces I started in 2017. When I started the year, it was at 67.86% complete. I did 3 pages, which was my goal. So that was 21,243 10 stitches. And so my goal is to finish up the last 4 pages to get my finish. So I only have 29,000 stitches left on it. So, I was just telling you I'd have 2 focus pieces each month getting daily stitches. This is not going to be one of them because 29,000, I don't need to focus on it each month to get that to happen. So this is also 25 count Lugana non-gridded. I started this one, I like starting on my full coverage different ways, just to try different things. So on this one, I actually completed all the partial pages first, and then I went along the bottom and I did that banana, And then I've just kind of been working my way up. So I'm actually going to be ending the piece where most people start, at the top left corner. So again, almost all my pieces are 25 count continental tent stitch 2/1. As I stitch a page, I normally stitch by page, doing one color at a time to finish the page. And then I feather into the surrounding pages so I don't get tension lines. So this will be my finish for 2025. I think I said everything on that one. Yes. Okay. Another Randall Spangler Trick or Treat. I started this one on 18 October 2018. So we're now in 2018. Started the year at 22.78% complete. I put 19,750 tent stitches into it. So now I'm only at 26%, or 26.33%. My goal was 2 full pages and a partial. So to finish that last row, and then to do another page on the row above it. I exceeded that because I did not get all the pages. I did not meet my 2023 goal on this one. So again, when I knew I could get more pages done this year, I went after those pieces where I didn't meet the goal the previous year. And this one, also 25 count. This is the one where I did all the black extreme cross country first. So all the black is complete. That was over 60,000 tent stitches. So first I will show you the bottom part where I started filling in the pages. So this includes that last page that was finished here in December. So this page I finished in December. I kept going a lot on that cobblestone fence post. So the page break is actually like back here, but I was just continuing the colors. So that's why you still see blank spots in there. But yeah, so that's the page I finished in December. I love the fact how right here you can see the spider web on the wrought iron fence. I had no idea that was there. You can't really tell by looking at the artwork. But because this piece is so massive, it came out, and I love it. If you want to see the top part of this piece, go check out Nikki Crafts. She's also got the same size piece going, but she started at the top, and she's got at least the top third, I believe, done, if not more. So that is the bottom section. And I'll get up here and try to show you the whole piece. Okay, so there's the top, and I'm just kind of... So one of the things I did, was that December or November? I had all kinds of park threads in there. I believe that was November. So I stitched all those in, because what I have done in previous years is I will actually hang this up on a wall like this come, October. Oh, my whips are falling. So that you can enjoy it, because I mean, this piece is going to take years and years and years to complete. And I really like seeing all the black the way it is. So now I have all the park thread stitched in, so it makes it a whole lot easier to display and show off if I'm not working on it during Halloween season. So that was Trick or Treat. Page goal for 2025 is another 3 pages on that one. All right, one UFO that came back out in 2024. Oops, let me show them. View PDF. Big Red Ship of Life by Ink Circles. So I started this one 11 December 2018. And as I was stitching this one was to be done in a certain time frame to represent the time that we were living in North Dakota. I had done that before with another piece where, because we were military, we're moving, you know, every 3, 4, or 5 years. I had stitched a piece, start to finish, a large piece within that time. So it was like, and that was Red Velvet Cake by Glendon Place. So that represented our time in Omaha, Nebraska. So I started Big Red Ship to represent our time in North Dakota. Shit happened. Our time got cut short. I didn't want to touch it. So I've put it in the closet for 3 years, and pulled it back out here a couple months ago to see if I could work on it without, you know, getting pissed or whatever. So for this year, it only got, let's see, where am I? 323 stitches into it. I pretty much just put in the parked threads that I had, but now I know I can work on it. So my goal for 2025 is to do 10,000 stitches. I have just over 23,000 stitches left on it. So this is on 28 count MCG Textiles. Mushroom, I think is the color they called it. And I am using DMC 3808. It's still kind of on the Q-snap. So this is 1/1 on that 28 count. So that is where I'm at. While we were in North Dakota, it was 1 page per quarter of the month, so 4 pages a year. So you can see we were there for 2.5, a little over that, but I got sick of it. So all I did is just this bit here and some of this up here is what I stitched in. So I still have some part threads up here. Yeah, so hopefully if we get 10,000 stitches into it, it is short. I did start this piece the wrong orientation, but there is enough fabric to get it finished. So, because there's 4 rows of pages. So finish this, and there is barely enough room with about 3/4 of an inch left. So I will sew more fabric on the bottom of that. We'll see if I get to that this year. If I finish these 2 pages in at 10,000, I should start into this. So we'll see that progress. So that is a Big Red Ship of Life. UFO that came back to life. Next was my non-full coverage focus on a finish for the year. I did not start 2024 thinking that I was going to try to get this piece done. My goal was only 12 days because I had a hard time working on this one. And what seems to work for me is breaking it up, doing those smaller chunks, those daily stitches. So the second 2 weeks of each month, I put daily stitches into this one. So I started the year, it was 42.28% done. I put 19,049 stitches into it throughout the year. So pretty much, I think it was like 1,700 stitches a month, something like that. So again, my goal was only 12 days. I did a whole lot more than that. This is 28 count Monaco 1/1. I dyed this with Royal Blue, and I used DMC A-Crew floss. So when I started, I only had about this much done. So I had all of the winter block done, and about, I had the word spring in there. So everything else I put in this year. What I changed, this bottom border is the same as the top border, just flipped. Because I didn't even tell you what this is. This is 4 Seasons Sal by Modern Folk Embroidery. Sorry, jumping ahead. I originally started this February 2019. Sorry about that. Yeah, 4 Seasons Sal. So the original bottom border that was charted was much chunkier. It was like almost twice the thickness. And again, I had a placement problem on the fabric, so I did sew some extra fabric on the bottom just to fit it into my Q-snap. But we will do a quick look. So again, 28, 1/1. So that is that one. Very delicate looking. So that is my second big finish of the year. All right, we're not going to miss telling you what the next one is. Supersize Color Expansion Museum Shelf by Amy Stewart. This one started 26 March 2019. I am cropping out the outer gold border on this one. So I have already marked that complete on Pattern Keeper. And then I started here at the bottom. So I had the bottom partial and the whole first row done. And I was up here on the next row back in the dinosaur section. So I started the year at 29.47% complete. Again, that's taking into account all the border that's marked complete. My goal was 3 pages, and I actually did 4 pages because, again, in 2023, I did not meet my goal on this one. I was like 3 pages behind because 2023 was not a good stitch year. So I actually completed 4 pages on this one, with 1 page being completed in December that you haven't seen yet. For a total of 28,388 tent stitches. This is on 25 count easy count. This is my homemade PVC frame. I will link below the videos in which I talk about how I made this and everything you need to know about it. So first off, let's look at the page I finished. So it was the rest of the half of the T-Rex's skull, and we're seeing that staircase come down. So, and then I will give you a full view. I can't see what you're seeing. So completed 4 pages on it this year. My goal for 2025 is to do 3 pages. So we'll see. So I think 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think I started the year with 1 page done. And so the other 4 pages are what I did this year. So now the dino section is almost fully complete. There's 8 rows of stitches to finish off this shelf before you actually see the woodwork of the next shelf. So there's only 8 rows of stitches, and then this pterodactyl, his wing, because he's flying in front of the shelf. So you will get to see the rest of the pterodactyl. But no other new dinosaurs. You'll see a little bit more of this book. But yeah, dinosaurs are pretty much done. So 3 pages, we'll get the staircase done and back into the Egyptian section for 2025. I will be a little sad once I reach the row finish and I have to scroll this on the frame, so I don't get to look at it all the time anymore. Again, 25 count, easy count. Okay, Santa Sampler. So Santa Sampler started 8 August 2019. This comes out of Donna Cooler's 555 Christmas cross-stitch designs, but you can also buy the PDF on the Cooler Designs website. I will have that linked below. And that's what it looks like. So a whole bunch of Santas, and looking at the mock-up, you never get a good feel for what it's gonna look like. And because this is in a book, I finally made copies of the pages to make it easier to work on, so I can, use a needle miner and put those on the Q-snap instead of trying to wrangle that big heavy book. This is 28 count gingerbread by Picture This Plus. Lugana, even weave, whatever it is. So my goal for the year was to work on it 5 days. I did that. So 1,537 stitches. Goal for 2025, because this is a harder one for me to work on just because it just seems fussy to me, even though I love how it looks. So we're going to keep the 5-day goal. And there you go. So I stitched this little sunflower Santa. I finished the candy cane. And that was not the candy cane, but the little bubbles. So that was your 1,500 stitches, was one Santa in 5 days. So I really like how it pops on the gingerbread. So really looks cool. I did not work on him at all during the Christmas season because I was pushing for those last page finishes, man. So that is Santa Sampler. Next we have Half-Blood Prince by Tilton Crafts, artwork by Daniel Kordick. I believe this is retired now. Most of her pop art charts by Daniel Kordick, she has retired. And she will be doing more, but they're more on a limited basis. So I started this one on Return to Hogwarts Day, 1 September 2019. Started the year at 38.91%. My goal for the year was 2 pages, and I got that done. This one will be, I did the math, it's slated to be my 2027 finish, so it's time to, ramp up my progress. So my goal for 2025 is 20,000 stitches, which should be over 3 pages. So we're focusing more on the stitch count this time rather than the number of pages. So for the 2 pages that I got done this year, that was only 11,099 10 stitches. So it's currently at 46.30% because Tilton pages are a little smaller than Hay pages. 25 count again. There are only 35 colors in this piece. So I just did those 2 pages. So you have Hermione's hair and Ron. And then you see the dark hair is the start of Harry. So this is Half-Blood Prince. So you have Tom Riddle, Professor Slughorn, Ginny Weasley. You have Snape over here and the top of Draco's head. So that is Half-Blood Prince. We will get at least 3 more pages. We'll see how far 20,000 stitches takes me here in 2025. Okay. Next is another non-full coverage, Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Samplers. I started this on Friday the 13th, so September 13th, 2019. I don't have a beginning percentage of where it was at, but my goal was to finish 1 page. I did that. I put in 2,924 full crosses. So it is now, and what I've done, I have to explain this first before I give you the percentage. I have marked this border complete, and I have marked this top border complete because I'm not sure I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna focus first on the main piece, right? And so also what I'm doing that slows me down stitching this is any section you see in the negative. So here you actually stitch the spaces, and here, and of course this big dragon scene. I am reversing that to make it back to you're actually stitching the motifs. So that takes some calculation to figure it out. I'm also using 3 different shades of blue for this piece, so trying to figure out what shade to use where. Because I'm using unmarked floss left from an elderly stitcher that I got. I believe they're Bucilla, like really old Bucilla flosses. So I definitely don't want to run out because I can't get any more. So pretty much reversing them and figuring out, because I do have it in Pattern Keeper, but it makes it hard. Like you can't mark the spaces complete, right? So it does take a little more brain power to work on. I got the 1 page finished. We're going to aim for another page finish here in 2025. This fabric is 32 count Lugana in Silvery Moon. Let me get all my part threads out of the way. And there you go. That's what it looks like. So the page I got done this year was this dragon guy. So there was a changeover from this that was a negative section to bring it back into, you know, the positive section, and then trying to figure out what his, you know, because the design is all monochrome, and I'm trying to make it not monochrome. So we have most of the dragon. The page I will be doing is already in work because this, the Knight's Standard is already part of it, and I have to finish converting that negative section here and working more on that dragon. So Needle Minder is by Craftie Emily. She is now left Etsy and has her eBay. Everything's listed in her eBay shop. So I will link her Flosstube channel below, and then you can find her eBay from there. So really like this piece. Working with the Bucilla floss is no problem at all. The 3 shades, so you have the lighter shade, which I have the most of, the darker shade, and then this one is like a medium blue. So you kind of got to look closely. It can be mistaken for the darker shade, but like here in the tree, you can see the 3 different blues in there as well. So that is Templar Prophecy. Okay. Next is Card Shark. This is a Retired Haid by Omar Rayan. I started this one 16th of June 2020. I started the year at 7.78%. My goal was 1 page, but I actually did 2 pages because I was a page behind from my goals in 2023. So I put in 15,290 tent stitches. I am now at 10.84% complete. My goal for 2025 is only 1 page, but we shall see. This one is 28 count, easy count. It's going to be massive, but I really like the detail. So there is where it is at right now. And then the pages that I got done here in 2024. And I'm going to sneeze. All right, I'm glad I was able to hit pause quickly enough. So that is Card Shark. We'll get at least 1 more page done in 2025. Next, we have the second UFO that returned, came back to life in 2024. This piece I just call Odin. It is off of Etsy Xana Cross Stitch. And there is only, I believe, nine colors in this guy. I started him originally 6 October 2020. I don't know what the percentage was when I started this year, but I had, the pages are much smaller. So I think I had 2.5 pages up here, and I was right here in this page with his second little wing on his helm. So again, picking it up to see if I could work on it without too many negative feelings because of what this piece, originally why I started it. This one is also on 28 count. And I only worked on it like a little over a week, but because there's only 9 colors, you get a lot done really quickly. So I put in 9,770 tent stitches. It is now at 15.59% complete. So my goal for 2025, again, figuring out full coverage finishes each year. I'm going to ramp this up to aim for a 2029 finish on this one. So my goal for 2025 is 12,400 tent stitches. I think that'll be at least 3 pages. But there you go. That is what Odin looks like so far. Okay. Next, I gotta show you the mock-up on this. Next is Story Keep What Lies Within by Lisa Parker. That is what it looks like. This one I also did all the black extreme cross country first. I started this piece 25 October 2021. Started the year at 33.32% complete. So I had all the black done and the top left corner page all filled in. So I put in 7,824 tent stitches. It is now at 41.66% complete. So my goal was only one page, but I did more than that. I did the partial page to get the row finished. So we have the whole top row done. So I forgot to say, after I did the black extreme cross country, I also filled in the cat's eyes. It was a suggestion by Amanda from Stitched Pixels. And I really liked how it looked, all the black with just the cat's eyes. And then I started page 1. This year I did page 2 and the partial page here. So again, 7,810 stitches. And at the suggestion of a different friend, I'm not going to be going on to this page. I'm going to skip this part. So this is going to be my 2026 finish. So I know that I need to do 14,000 stitches in it this year to get it within finishing range for 2026. So I am going to come down here to the bottom, and with 14,000 stitches, I should get at one row finish, maybe, maybe 2. I'm not sure. Well, 1.5, I'm going to guess, for 14,000 stitches, because there was 7,800 in one page and a partial. It all depends on how much black is on those pages, right? That's already done. So we'll get 14,000 more tent stitches into this piece for 2025. That is 25 count. Okay. Next is, I believe, my largest piece. This is Supersize Max Color Animal Totem by Ciro Marchetti. There's the color adjusted on my screen. And I started this one originally over here to get the horse, of course. So I started this one 8 November 2021. Started the year at 2.15% complete. My goal was only one page. I got that one page done. It's actually more, it's a large partial page. It's not a full page. So I did 6,805 tent stitches. It is now at 3.11%. So we did essentially 1% of the design in the year. My goal for 2025 is to do another page. So, and I am stitching this one sideways on 28 count. So the page I got done in 2024 is this one here with the feathers. That's what my daughters wanted. So originally I had started with this page with the horse's eye, and then I did the page with the muzzle, and then I came up here and did the feather. Now I think I'm going to pick my next page, and I'm going to come down here, which will be more mountains and the bison. So hopefully we'll see that page in 2025. This is my only supersize max color. So I have 2 other supersize, actually 3 kind of, depending if you'll see later. This is my only supersize max color. So there's definitely a whole lot more work to have that, 240 colors on this one. So next is another supersize, but regular colors. Oops, hit the wrong one. Supersize A Confabulation of Dragons, artwork by Scott Gustafson. Now this one, I have cut it into 3 to make it a triptych. So as you're looking at this, if you drew a line down this tree on this side of the urn in between the dog's tail. So this is the piece I've started, is this large part on the left side. And then the other two, I'm going to cut it horizontally along this tree branch. So you have just one main dragon here, and then you'll have this scene with the little girl as a third piece. So we're going to start with the big piece. And because I have marked all of this side complete, it throws off my percentage. So I started this one 24 November 2021. Started the year at 38.18% complete. My goal was 1 page. I got 1 page done. That was 7,521 10 stitches. Currently now at 39.21% complete. So again, I did about 1% on this. So supersize regular colors on this one. So there are 87 colors on it. Gotta let go of the fabric so you can see it this way. So there we go. I've finished up this page right here to finish the dragon's other wing. And you gotta remember, these guys are way in the background. So I'm very happy with the amount of detail on there. And then this part is actually one of the horns on the large dragon. So we will see more of that here in 2025 to get the next page done. To be honest, these two pieces, Animal Totem and a Confab of Dragons, because they are such large pieces, they've only been getting 1 page a year. That will take me forever and a day to, only get 1% done a year. So I would like to see them get more, but I'm also trying to work with getting a full coverage finish every year. So I keep saying, as I get finishes, I'll have fewer full coverage pieces and I'll be able to dedicate more time to those. But then I just keep starting more pieces. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The next one is U.S. Travel Shelf by Amy Stewart. This is regular size, regular colors. That one. And I started this one over here, top right corner, doing these partial pages. They're a little more than half a page size. So I started this one on Tuesday, 22 February 2022. Started the year at 1.52%. My goal was 1 page for the year, but this is another piece that I did not touch at all in 2023. And so I was able to get a second page done. So I put in 10,514 10 stitches. I'm now at 4.14% complete. My goal for 2025 is 1 more page. Also stitching this one sideways. 25 count, easy count. So I had most of this book. This is Atlanta, Georgia. And we did this page here and the polar bears. So that is U.S. Travel Shelf by Amy Stewart. Regular size, regular colors. And of course I had Moana on there because traveling. So that's my Tuesday start. I'm going to pause a second. All right, drink some water to hopefully help my voice. I don't know what's going on. All right, end of 2023, I started a piece for the 123 sale because as you look at the date written the American way with 12/31/23, it looked like 123 123, which makes me think of dancing like a waltz. 123 123 123. So on that date, I started Victorian Lady Dance Card by Joan Elliott. So I only had a few stitches into it when I started it, when at the start of 2024. My goal for the year was 5 days. I don't remember the fabric. Hold on just a second. Okay, I was trying to figure out what the fabric is, but I don't know. If you're curious, ask me. I'll figure it out. I know I have it posted somewhere, but nowhere real handy. I know it's 28 count. I know it's Picture This Plus, even weave. So it's a Lugana. So my 5 days, I finished that center section of her dress, and you'll see that the holes are where the beads are going to go. So I do have all the beads in the Kreinik for this one. So my goal for 2025 is to do another 5 days on her. So that is Victorian Lady. My New Year, New Start for 2024 was a Greyhound year. And I don't have the cover page. I'm so unprepared. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. It's a little beat up, but this is a Greyhound year by the Blue Flower. Originally designed to go all in one piece, but I did not do that. I stitched them on 2 pieces of fabric to cut them apart and display them individually, which I have fully finished, so you get to see them here. So again, started this on 1 January 2024. I did make some alterations with colors to suit my fabric. On May, I had a problem with placement, so you'll only see this side of the flowers. You won't see it on the other side. Because I wasn't doing the framework, like I had to leave out the spider here in October. So things like that. So for the year, that ended up 10,043 full cross stitches. And I have fully finished them. And I'll show you, I'll run through them real quick. So these are 4.5 by 4.5 inch wooden blanks by that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I literally just folded them onto the wood and glued it with Aleene's tacky glue. I'll show you the back here in a second. So April. This is 28 count Joblin fabric. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and the one I did in December. That was my 953 full cross stitches I did in December. Everything else was on full coverage pieces. So this might give some of you a little bit of heart attack, but so I would glue down 2 sides, and then I would cut a little more than a square, because you see how these cuts are on an angle. I literally cut all the way up here, but then I put tacky glue there so it's not going to fray. And it's not sticking up, and it was much easier to get a smooth finish without doing like a gift wrapping corner to get that. And I'll show you what I mean on one of my other finishes where I didn't cut as much. So yes, this is cut. You can see it's cut all the way. And then I just glued and I pushed it down. So the corners are a little hard. Like you can feel that. That's the glue holding it in place. You can see the glue here, even though it clears dry. So obviously not an heirloom piece. This is a fun piece just to lean up on a table or shelf and change out once a month. So that is the FFO of a Greyhound year. Okay, and then my leap day new start. I did not start this with the intention of trying to get it done in 4 years. This was just hey, it's a special day. We're going to start a new piece. So this is Midnight Munchies by Randall Spangler. It is a color expansion that I requested them to do. So it is still the same size, 350 by 479, but it has 125 colors, which is the same amount of colors as in my supersized color expansion museum shelf. 125, much more that's the cat, handleable to me versus max color at 240. 125, no problem. So I wanted this piece to be a companion piece to Sunday Delight. So I started this on Leap Day, worked on it a few days, and I have this bottom partial page complete. So on the plate of cookies. 25 count. And there's your partial page. So that was 4,165 tent stitches. It is now at 2.48% complete. And my goal for 2025 is to do 1 page. So we'll get to see more of the cookies. So that is Midnight Munchies. And then here's a start and a finish, a small piece, out of the 2012 Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue. I started this thinking I was going to use this design for one of the events in Full Coverage Fanatics. But it was such a cute little full coverage part, and I finished it before that event even occurred. So it's just an additional piece, a bonus piece I got done. So this is how it is actually designed. This is Frady Cat's Welcome by Cheryl Granda of Glendon Place. But all I did was the full coverage section. So just the little cat in the moon. This is 18 count Ada piece of scrap that I had. So there you go. That was my start and finish. So I started this on the 30 August and I finished it on 2 September because it didn't take hardly any time at all. 1,764 full cross stitches. So even though this is full coverage, I counted it in my full cross stitch count because it is not 10 stitch. So that was a start and a finish. And next I have another start and a finish that I actually used for that event in Full Coverage Fanatics, which was amazingly atypical, where you didn't work on a piece that you had electronically. So a Mill Hill kit, a magazine piece, dimensions, something that's not electronic. So start and a finish. This is Mill Hill Winter Stag. I started it on 13 October, finished it on 9 November. 4,621, that includes beads, start and a finish. And this Mill Hill frame I got from Charting Creations. I think it goes really well. So that is Winter Stag. Okay. Another start and a finish. Leaves Collector by Soda Stitch. I started this on 20 October 2024. Obviously, finished it on the 28th of November. 6,857 full cross stitches. Also fully finished. This is my fall gnomies. It's called Leaves Collector. Soda Stitch has a bunch of different gnome designs for all holidays and seasons. I believe there's also gemstones. So check them out. It's not her normal aesthetic with, all her other designs. This is 28 count Oaken, Lugana by Picture This Plus. And what I did is I have used, so if you go to in any big box craft store and go to their painting section and look at the different size artist canvases. This is the easiest finish I can think of. I've done it several different times on non-full coverage and a couple donut stitch designs. I've also used this. So once you finish it, you take that artist canvas, and so that canvas is stapled to the frame, right? So you're literally doing the exact same thing. Because this is Lugana and it's not as stiff as Ada, it's a lot looser. It's more fussy to finish the corners on this. I had my mom help me. We did cut out some of the bulk, because if you would have kept all of that, it would have really bulked up these corners. But you can see how she, get my face out of there. You can see how she did more of a gift wrapping type corner to tuck this in. And because it's Lugana, it was a little harder to do than Ada. So, and then the staples, these just regular staple gun to hold these corners down. So there again is your gift wrapping corner. So is it perfect? No. Am I going to take it to a fair? No. Are we going to love it? Absolutely. Just a couple pieces of. So that is Leaves Collector. I believe, yeah, this was my last finish for the year. Okay, on Halloween, I had a new start. The artist just calls this Halloween. I call it Stained Glass Pumpkin. The Etsy shop is Sharova Creations. Stitch size is 400 by 400 on this one. I am doing it on 32 count, easy count. And as I was looking at it, I was like, you know how I like to do all the black first. So there's what it looks like with all the black highlighted. So I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. I like that. It'll keep me interested. So I said, well, we're definitely doing all the black first. And then I considered it and I'm like, no, we're going to do the whole piece, Extreme Cross Country. So, yeah, we're going to start with the black and go from there and do the whole piece, Extreme Cross Country, on this one. Like I said, I like starting my full coverage pieces in different areas and stitching them different ways. It keeps it interesting for me. So I did work on this 3 days here in December, so there is more progress than when I worked on it end of October and beginning of November. So I've got just under 3,000. So 998 tent stitches. It is currently at 1.87% complete. There's still over 39,000 black stitches remaining. My goal for 2025 is to aim for 10,000 black stitches. So I even worked on this last night as we were waiting for the new year. So that is just shy of 3,000 10 stitches. So we're almost to the halfway point up here. So that is my stained glass pumpkin. Almost done. 2 more pieces. Okay, and then I had talked in my videos and also on Instagram, if you ever like trim down a large piece of easy count and you're left with like this skinny strip of fabric, like what do you do with that? Obviously you don't want to throw it away. It's easy count, or whether you have non-gridded fabric, also you want to use the fabric that you have. So my idea was to take the bookshelf pieces from Randall Spangler. There's a dragon one, a dog one, and a cat one, and you can stitch either the regular size version, the Story Keep version, or the super size version, and stitch just one of those books will fit nicely on a skinny strip of fabric. So I bought Supersized Books of Dreams by Randall Spangler. This is the dragon version. And there's space. As you look at the actual chart, there's space between each of the books. There's like a few columns of blank stitches. So it makes it really easy to pick out one book that you want to stitch. And so what I did is I'm going to be stitching this one here in the middle. It says Medieval History, Knights and Dragons. Author is I. M. King. So what I did is I marked all the other books complete in Pattern Keeper. So I started with, already over 91% complete on it because all the other books are showing as complete. I only worked on this a couple of days. It's got 942 10 stitches, so I'm ending the year at 91.22% complete. These pages or the books are just about 1 page wide, a traditional Haid page. So you're looking at like four pages, 3.5. It's 475 tall on the supersized version. So that's where I'm starting the year with. And I just want to get this top page done for 2025. So that is medieval history from the supersized Books of Dreams pattern. And then I had a new start here in December. Stitches So Beautiful, on their business page, not in their Facebook group, on their business page, they have a monthly challenge where if you say pick any Stitches So Beautiful pattern, post your starting point, and once a week on like the Sunday, you post a progress picture saying how much you got done. There's not a minimum. As long as you have your monthly, your weekly pictures in there and an end of month picture, then all participants will earn whatever chart she has for that monthly challenge, and will be thrown into a drawing for some goodies, whether it's a project bag or something, stitching accessories type goodies. So I did that for December. I participated in the December challenge. I had one Stitches So Beautiful pattern. This is Ready for an Adventure by Sir Kai. She does have this in 3 different sizes, so I just took the regular size. 305 by 400, 90 colors. And because she doesn't have a minimum, I chose to do 30 minutes a day. Because it's 10 stitching, I knew that, a lot of people, like on their temperature stitching, whatever, they'll do like 100 stitches. Well, I knew I could do more than 110 stitches in 30 minutes. So I said, we'll try 30 minutes a day. Now, did I actually stitch on it every single day in December? No. There was 5 days that I did not work on it in December. Did I actually do 31 days of 30 minutes a day equivalent? Absolutely, if not a little bit more. So if I missed a day, then I made up for it and stitched like an hour on it the next day. That's what I'm trying to say. So I got, her pages are about half the size of a hay page. It's only about 48 stitches wide by 62 tall. So one page is less than 3,000 stitches. So I got 6,010 stitches into it exactly. So I finished page 1, and I've almost finished page 2 that you can see. This is 28 count easy count. Doesn't look like much right now because it's all that background, but the darker colors are actually in the design. Let me blow it up here. They're either birds or dragons flying in the background. So that's what you see. So hopefully we'll get to some dragon here soon, because I made the mistake of showing my oldest daughter the participant chart for January's challenge, and she really likes it. I don't know what the name is, but we're calling it Fairy Light Forest. So it's a magical looking forest with a bunch of lights and flowers and everything. Today by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the deadline to sign up for that challenge. So again, look at their business page, not their Facebook group. So I will be continuing this for the January challenge. I'm probably going to go to like 100 stitches equivalent per day on this one instead of 30 minutes. Just because what I found is working on it almost every single day for a month, I was getting a little bit burned out on it. So I'm going to decrease my goal on it for 100 stitches per day equivalent. So just over 3,000 stitches. So we'll see. It'll get some more progress here in January. So that's it, guys. That is all my WIPs. Now, it's the 1st of January. Kim, what are you starting for New Year, New Start? Obviously, we already talked about this previous videos. The Haid Sal. I am doing Jelly World. So I have my fabric already. They did release this like 5 days early. They released it on the 27th, the first 4 pages. But I was trying to get my page finished on Museum Shelf, and I was committed to that. And then there was only like 2 days left, and I'm like, I'm just going to stick to starting it on New Year's Day. And so I worked on my pumpkin piece instead. So I will be cleaning up my mess and starting Jelly World today. So let's talk the rest of the stats. So 2024, I started with 15 WIPs. 11 of those were full coverage. Out of those original 15, I finished 2, Friends Forever and the Four Seasons Sale by Modern Folk Embroidery. But then 2 UFOs came back, Big Red Ship and Odin. So I was still at 15. I had 8 new starts, 6 of which were full coverage. But out of those 8, I finished 4. I finished the Greyhounds, I finished Frady Cat, the little small piece, the Gnomes, and the Winter Stag. So total finishes for the year is 6 page finishes. Now my goal, if you added up all my page finish goals for each piece, my goal for the year was 22 full pages and 4 partials. I actually got 30 full pages and 7 partial pages. So I'm ending the year with 19 WIPs, of which 15 are full coverage, up from 11. But then you add my new start of Jelly World, so I'm now at 20 WIPs, 16 full coverage. My stitch count for the year, so total in full coverage tent stitches, 216,900. So 216,900 tent stitches. Full cross, non-full coverage stitches, 48,629. And I stitched every single day this year. So 0 no-stitch days. In comparison, when I told you that 2023 I did not meet all my goals, it was kind of a crappy year. Instead of 216 tent stitches, I only had 122,000. Almost 123. And full cross stitches, I was at 21,566. And I had 61 no-stitch days in 2023. So that I'm taking as a win. I went from 61 no-stitch days to 0. 2022, which is a better year in comparison, I had more full coverage stitching. I had 233,000, but my non-full coverage was only at 9,200. So it balances out. So I didn't get as much full coverage stitching as I did in 2022, but I got a whole lot more non-full coverage. And in that 2022, I had 16 or 17 no-stitch days. So, okay, real quickly, January plans. I'm going to work on Kindred Spirits and Jelly World. So Jelly World is my other daily stitches piece. So the first 2 weeks each month will be on Jelly World. The second 2 weeks of each month will be on Kindred Spirits. So those two you'll see every single month. My goal on Jelly World right now is only the 6 pages. And I'm only going to commit to that rate, the number of stitches I need each month to keep that goal for the first 2 months, because I want to see I want to see progress pics of all the other designs for the hate sale to see if it's worth it for me to keep pushing to get those 6 pages done so I can earn those other charts by the end of the year. If I don't like how the other ones are looking, then I'm not going to keep pushing myself to do the 6 pages, and I will move that time to my other pieces, like those 2 supersize that I was talking about was not getting enough attention. So I will move that. So we're at least going to keep daily stitches on Jelly World for January and February, and then we'll see from there. I'm also going to work on Sunday Delight, because in Full Coverage Fanatics, we have stitched the Zodiac. So for each period of the Zodiac sign, we have a different event. So the first 2 weeks or so is the second part of Capricorn. So I'm going to be working on Sunday Delight for that one, as well as double dipping those stitches for the movie challenge, because January is comedy. And if you think of those 2 draglings eating ice cream, it's going to be funny, right? So I will be doing the non-counting and probably just watching some comedy movies instead of counting, only a few hundred stitches, 10 stitches, and taking pictures. So Sunday Delight. I'll probably work on Big Red Ship some more. And once we get to Aquarius, I am going to work on What Lies Within, because cats are aloof, just like one of the personality traits of Aquarius. And then, of course, Ready for an Adventure for the January challenge. So that's what January looks like for me. If you have any questions, obviously leave them below, whether it's questions about my WIPs, Full Coverage Fanatics events questions, you name it. Sorry for I don't know if I'm getting sick or what. It's possible. But I hope everybody has a really good, stitchy 2025. Thanks, guys. Bye.